If everyone did what this store is doing on their print-on-demand stores, they'd probably be way more likely to actually make consistent, profitable sales. The name of this print-on-demand store is called brownscamo.com, and what we're going to do today is we're going to break down what they're doing. I'm going to share some of the things that I love about their store. I'm also going to share some of the things that I think they need to do better on. We'll also go through some of their social media strategy as well. Here on this channel, all I do is review print-on-demand stores, so if you want to get your store reviewed, make sure that you leave it down in the comments below. Now, as I mentioned, there are some things that I like, there are some things that I think they need to improve. We're going to start with the things that I like. The first thing is I love the fact that they have really tried to create a real brand for their niche. This is what we call a niche-based brand. This is what I teach inside of my free Shopify course. There's a link down in the description if you wanted to access it. The name of the store is called brownscamo.com. They're basically creating products for people that like camouflage, most likely people that like the outdoors, people that go hunting, and ultimately I think that's a great strategy no matter what your niche is, to build some sort of a brand for them based on the niche. Now, the second thing I think that they've done really well is they've chosen awesome products. This here is an all-over print hoodie. This one actually has a face shield on it as well. They actually have several different hoodies on the store, and I think things like this are probably a little bit better than if they just created 32 t-shirt designs or something like that. Now, if I'm being honest with you, that is honestly where the things that I like begin to sort of dwindle. And some of you might be wondering why I said what I said at the beginning of this video if that's all I like about this store. What I'm trying to say with what I said at the beginning is I think that everybody starting print on demand needs to make sure that they're creating a store that is specific in some way, and this store has done that very well. However, I think there are a lot of things that could potentially hold this store back. The first is that the homepage is relatively unfinished. You can see if we scroll through the store, we have a banner at the top, we've got a couple of products, we've got a couple of sections of images and text right here, and then the store just kind of ends. If you've watched any of my store reviews, you know I try to tell people to make their store look sort of like this in terms of the different sections that are on the store. Up at the top, we've got a banner. We've then got a rich text section to talk about the brand. We then have some best sellers. There's then some slideshows that your customers could click through and view entire collections. For example, with the store that we're looking at right now, they could have this slide here be for their all-over print hoodies, and then the next slide could be for maybe their hats or their shirts. They could even add a third slide and show all three. There's also a couple of sections here for them to show off product images and features of the product, and then down at the bottom there's a space for them to talk a little bit more about their store. There's also a full footer down below. Like I said, if you've gone through my free Shopify course, you'll know that this is how I like to set up home pages. Ultimately, the goal is to make your homepage feel like a brochure rather than just a basically empty homepage that feels quite unfinished. I'd also say that their designs are way too basic right now, and they're based way too much on the store's name and logo. What I would do if this was my store is I would take their logo that they have here on the chest and I would move that to the sleeve. Basically right here on the sleeve is where I would put that. And then what I would do is I would get a graphic very similar to this here, and I would end up putting that right on the chest of the hoodie right here, and I would do it in basically the same colors. And what you're doing is you're now making a niche based design, but you're working your logo into it, and you're also creating something cool because it's an all over print hoodie. Maybe I'd also create another version with a design like this on the chest, again basically having my logo on the sleeve and then a different design on the chest, but the entire thing is camouflaged. In my opinion, that's the perfect way to create all over print hoodie designs that are simple and also great for the niche. What I'd also say this store could improve on would be the actual colors of the store. Now, I think black and orange like they have up at the top is a decent look, but as you scroll through the store, in my opinion, it's just way too dark. I typically never make the entire store black like this. You could certainly add black into a couple of sections, but your store, in my opinion, should primarily be white as you scroll through it. That's going to make it feel a lot more brighter and honestly a little bit more professional. So going forward, my top 2 tips for this store would be to finish this homepage and maybe create 4 more all over print designs that are not just your logo on the chest of the product. Now, I also also took a peek at the social media page here, and you can see that it's been a little bit of time since this person has posted on their social media page. As I'm making this video, it is almost the end of February, and their last post is back in January. So it's been over a month since they've posted. It does seem like they were in a little bit of a habit of being consistent with posting here on the page. One of the things that I always tell people when it comes to creating a social media page, whether it's on Facebook here or on Instagram here, is you always want to make sure that you are really diving into two things. The first is you want to make sure that you are varying your content, okay? Variety is incredibly important. As we look at this page, we do see quite a bit of variety. There's some memes here. There seems to be some text posts as well. There's also some images, and I think overall they've done a decent job with variety. The second thing that you want to make sure that you are really playing up is consistency, especially when your account is new. If we scroll all the way to the top, this store here only has 120 followers on their Instagram page. On their Facebook, they have even less than that. They're sitting at 31 followers. Consistency is going to be the thing that is actually going to help this store owner's accounts grow. So if you're watching this, remember, it's variety and consistency, especially when your store is new. So let me know what you guys think of brownscamo.com. Like I said, I think they're on the right track. I think they just need to experiment more with some of their designs and, in a sense, get away from just putting their logo on a product like this. I do think it's a great niche. I do think it's a great idea for a store. I think they just need to level up their designs a little bit. So thank you guys for watching. If you'd like to get your store reviewed, like I said, you can leave your URL down in the comments and maybe you'll end up in a video like this. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video.